Cash was assigned to a U.S. Air Force Security Service unit, assigned as a Morse code intercept operator for Soviet Army transmissions at Landsberg, Germany, where he created his first band, named the Landsberg Barbarians. He was the first radio operator to pick up the news of the death of Joseph Stalin. After he was honorably discharged as a staff sergeant on July 3, 1954, he returned to Texas. On July 18, 1951, while in Air Force training, Cash met 17-year-old Vivian Liberto at a roller skating rink in her native San Antonio. They dated for 3 weeks until Cash was deployed to Germany for a 3-year tour. During that time, the couple exchanged hundreds of pages of love letters. On August 7, 1954, 1 month after his discharge, they were married at St. Anne's Catholic Church in San Antonio. The ceremony was performed by her uncle, Father Vincent Liberto. They had 4 daughters, Roseanne, Kathy, Cindy, and Tara. Cash's drug and alcohol abuse, constant touring, and affairs with other women, and his close relationship with future wife June Carter led Liberto to file for divorce in 1966. In 1968, 13 years after they first met backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, Cash proposed to June Carter, an established country singer, during a live performance in London, Ontario, marrying on March 1st, 1968, in Franklin, Kentucky. They had 1 child together, John Carter Cash, born March 3rd, 1970. They continued to work together and tour for 35 years until June Carter died in 2003. Cash died just 4 months later, and Carter co-wrote one of Cash's biggest hits, Ring of Fire, with singer Merle Kilgore. She and Cash won 2 Grammy Awards for their duets. Vivian Liberto claims a different version of the origins of Ring of Fire in I Walk the Line, My Life with Johnny, stating that Cash gave Carter the credit for monetary reasons. Cash's heritage was a British Isles mix. He learned upon researching his heritage that he was of Scottish royal descent on his father's side, traced back to Malcolm IV of Scotland. After meeting with now-dead Laird Major Michael Crichton Stewart of Falkland, Fife, Scotland, Johnny traced the Cash family tree to 11th century Fife. Cashlock and other locations in Fife bear the name of his family. Cash also had English and Scots-Irish ancestry. Though he did not have American Indian ancestry, his empathy and compassion for Native American Indians were unabated. These feelings were expressed in several of his songs, including Apache Tears and the Ballad of Ira Hayes, and on his album, Bitter Tears, Ballads of the American Indian.
Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. They're the cattle that Iwo Jima Hill, 150 men, but only 27 lived to walk back down again. And when the fight was over, and Old Glory raised, among the men who held it high was the Indian, Ira Hayes.
Cash was a longtime friend of Woody Hayes, ex-Ohio State Buckeyes football coach, and the lyrics, "I braided twigs of willows, made a string of Buckeye beads," from the song Flesh and Blood, was for Woody.
Singing mountain stream, where the willow grew, where the silver leaf of maple sparkled in the morning dew. I braided twigs of willow, made a string of Buckeye beads, but flesh and blood needs flesh and blood, and you're the one I need. Flesh and blood needs flesh and blood, and you're the one I need. I leaned against the bark and I breathed the honey.
In 1954, Cash and Vivian moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where he sold appliances while studying to be a radio announcer. At night, he played with guitarist Luther Perkins and bassist Marshall Grant. Perkins and Grant were known as the Tennessee Two. Cash worked up the courage to visit the Sun Records studio, hoping to get a recording contract. After auditioning for Sam Phillips, singing mostly gospel songs, Phillips told him that he didn't record gospel music any longer. It was once rumored that Phillips told Cash to go home and sin, then come back with a song I can sell. Though in a 2002 interview, Cash denied that Phillips made any such comment. Cash eventually won over the producer with new songs delivered in his early rockabilly style. In 1955, Cash made his first recordings at Sun, Hey Porter and Cry Cry Cry, which were released in late June and met with success on the Country Hit Parade.
Turn around and walk away, you cry, cry, cry. You're gonna cry, 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 and you cry alone. When everyone's forgotten and you're left on your own, you're gonna cry, cry, cry.
December 4th, 1956, Elvis Presley dropped in on Phillips while Carl Perkins was in the studio cutting new tracks with Jerry Lee Lewis backing him on piano. Cash was also in the studio, and the four started an impromptu jam session. Phillips left the tapes running, and the recordings, almost half of which were gospel songs, survived and have since been released under the title $1 Million Quartet. In Cash, the autobiography, Cash wrote that he was the one farthest from the microphone and was singing in a higher pitch to blend in with Elvis. Guys, that concludes part one of this four-part Easy FM Spotlight on the legendary Johnny Cash. Tune in tomorrow, guys, when I take a look at the second part of the Johnny Cash Spotlight, and we'll find out how he started off his career and became instantly successful with his songwriting. Until then, I am Johnny Hutong, saying take real good care of yourselves.
In the arms of your best friend. That's when your heart is. Baby. Now let me tell you something else. When all your dreams of a lifetime must all...
A wide range of CRI programs can now be downloaded for free from CRI's website. Visit cribeyondbeijing.com to find your favorite news, talk, features, and entertainment programs. cribeyondbeijing.com